were there any industry specific or regional differences in AI adoption or challenges that really stood out in the survey results?
We go to market through five primary market verticals, and really three of them, logistics, consumer electronics, and automotive, we're seeing as really leading in terms of adopting these new tools. And that's not surprising. I mean, I think on one hand, these are the areas that stand to benefit the most, right? Either had problems that some of the older tools and technology couldn't address that the newer can. They tend to have very sensitive ROIs when it comes to even very small improvements in vision system performance and detection performance. And so for sure, we're seeing those three verticals and customers in those three industries leading, I would say, in their adoption. And the markets that tend to be a little more cautious would be our fast-moving consumer products, and that has a number of reasons for it, right? These are customers that tend to be very sensitive to quality, are heavily regulated industries because they're selling into consumer end markets, and so we're seeing a little more caution there. And then our fifth would be advanced semiconductor, and similarly, I think that's an industry that tends to be a little more cautious in its adoption of leading technology, given the criticality of the machines and the expense of the manufacturing process there. But we are seeing nice progress as well.
So, for those sectors that have the stringent safety or the quality standards, so how do these AI systems help to meet or exceed those requirements specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I think on one hand, you have to make sure that the AI tool and technology is transparent in terms of what it's doing, right? One of the early critiques years ago of the technology was it was too much like a black box, right? Moving from technology that was really about setting a variety of parameters that you knew exactly the parameters that you set, to one that you were trained by example, and then it was kind of creating a model in the background. I think that made some customers uncomfortable. I think we've gotten over that. But how? It's really transparency, right? Where we have ways to display what the model is doing, how it's doing it, and what assumptions it's making, that I think better inform our customers and get them more comfortable that it's doing its job correctly. And that's and it's auditable, right? So that you can audit that those assumptions stay consistent over time. Those are the sorts of things that an industry that has regulation like food, beverage, tobacco products, like really care about. Transparency in the system operation, and then being able to audit those things over time. And as we've matured the technology and its product development, those are the things that we've brought to bear that have made those customers more comfortable using it.
Okay. Can you talk about what emerging technologies complement AI in advancing machine vision capabilities?
Sure. Yeah, it's such a good question. I think today we and our customers tell us that they prefer to use Cognex technology and deploy machine vision through embedded systems. What is an embedded system? It's really a smart vision system that has all of the software, all of its tools preloaded, and it can do its entire job with the computing that it has on board. And that's a product strategy we've had for many years. But what's happened in the market is, because AI tools have accelerated in their sophistication much faster than I would say the embedded computing capabilities have, I'd say that the biggest limiter in the past has really been where to run those tools and the performance of the embedded vision system to keep up with the computing demands of those latest generation models. That is what we're seeing really improve quite dramatically, where we're seeing legacy chipset manufacturers, new entrants, creating some very interesting, very powerful embedded computing chipsets specifically designed to run, frontier AI tools. And those things coming together is very, very exciting. Where, if the technology is ready, we now have a place to actually run it in a package that customers can consume and scale very, very quickly. And so many of the new products that we'll be announcing this year are really of that vein, where we're pairing very powerful embedded hardware with already very powerful software and tools to deliver, advanced technology, but also simplicity and scalability to our customers.